Yeah, so we're back. Um,
Back again.
I'm looking a little scruffy. Uh, I did Beijing though. Uh, Jay, do you know what Beijing is?
Yeah, you got the little beard paint shit going.
Okay, I thought I was going to stump you with that. I thought I was.
Nah, man, the Beijing that was what they was talking about Rick Ross for forever painting his beard and whatnot.
Yeah, shout out to Jim Jones who just said fuck it, fuck it,
Yeah, his shit great, but
fuck it. I
shit's
mean,
cool, man. Yeah,
li-
rock with it. Nothing wrong with the gray beard. Black Dog got the grays in the middle. Fucking King Crooked and all that is.
man, I'm trying to get there. That's what I'm.
That's what
I'm
I'm
trying.
saying, man. When my beard
Yeah,
is just all gray up in the middle, that should look good.
I'm trying to get comfortable, man. I'm trying to get comfortable, but I'm not there yet. I'm not.
I really think that the people who sit there and dye their blacks and their gray or their grays back to black and whatnot kind of guy. It's not really different than makeup. You know, you sitting there with the little hairline paint.
Now that Yoda says I'm fucking putting on makeup, so I
Nah,
have to put.
ain't the Beijing the edger?
Nah, no. See, I stumped you. You've been stumped.
It's not what goes to make the edges dark, right?
Fuck no, man.
Oh
See,
shit.
yo, whoa. This is
Okay, so what is
crazy.
it then?
This is crazy.
What was
Hold
Rick
on.
Ross putting on his beard where the edge of it looked like
I'm about
markers?
to. Yeah, that's some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm about to
See,
tell you.
that's what I thought Beijing was. All right, you did get me.
Oh, nah. See, you've been stumped, Yoda.
Ah, damn. Damn, see,
Oh, knowing?
That's what I thought the Beijing black was.
Nah. See, look. See the Beijing, my brother. I finally know something that Jason doesn't know. I'm about to go in depth. See the Beijing, my brother. It's a chemical that was created by the white man to infect the black man's scalp and pores in an infectious man. Is hair dye.
Oh damn. All right,
See,
all right. See, I thought it was you ever go to the barber and they do little, they spray
oh
around the little spots right there?
nah,
That's what I thought
nah,
it was.
nah,
That's what I'm
nah.
talking about.
Nah, nah. See, I'm not doing all that. I ain't doing all that. If
Yeah,
I
see
could,
that's what I'm talking about. The dude be sitting there spraying their beard on and shit
oh
at
yeah,
home,
nah,
spraying his
that's
little, you got the little light parts or whatnot. They're like, nah, I
yeah,
can't have
nah,
that.
that
I
look
gotta.
crazy. Nah, that look crazy. Nah, I'm talking about Beijing. It's a it's a hair dye. That's basically what it is. But I would love it's actually uh, a dangerous chemical. So I want to stop using that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's probably a good call, especially on your face, man.
I know. Yeah, it's fucking burning right now. I'm not even going to lie. It's fucking. My face is not. It's not normal right now. I definitely got some.
That's probably a good indicator that you should let that Beijing go.
Nah, if you see me like scratching profusely, then you kind
That's
of.
the Beijing. All right.
It's the chemicals fucking destroying my face as we speak.
All right, hair color, and face chemicals.
But
Got it.
other than that, other than that, I've had an eventful week, as most men most men have eventful weeks. If you're doing
Or
what
should.
or should great call, Jay. Um, yeah, a lot of shit that I'm not going to say on camera, but the every week to week trials and tribulations. How was your week though, Jay? What you got going on?
Man, my week has been lovely. My week has been busy, and busy is a blessing. Speaking about what we just said, one of the phrases that I hate the most is same old, or
Hmm.
just maintaining, or anything along those lines, because it's not what life is about. You always got to have some sort of forward momentum and be working on new things, trying to grow and expand, and that's it's what it's about, man. So that's what I'm here for, trying to push on to bigger and better things that probably are best not discussed on camera at the moment.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Um, yeah, I like that shit. Um, but yeah, as far as my week, like you said, not going to get into great detail, but as most men, trials and tribulations, and as I like to say, why complain? No one's going to listen anyway. And nobody gives a fuck, right? So that brings me to naming this pod or whatever the fuck you want to call it, our show. And it made me think of validation, right? And then it made me think of being valuable,
Mm.
right? So which one is it validation or is it being valuable? And then me being the maniac I am, I created a word. Valuedation. Valuedation.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we create new. We add into the dictionary over here.
Hey, look, don't make light of that because this could be a word.
Nah, this absolutely gonna be a word. We getting this added. Valuedation. I like it.
Valuedation. That's what we're naming this pod, Jay.
Mm.
Valuedation, right? So let me get right into it. My patented monologue. I just want to say that word monologue because I'm feeling like a
Yeah,
newscaster
that's
lately.
high level right there. You know, you got to the point where you got monologues and whatnot, where you
Yeah,
just sit
man.
there, speak
Look,
for a little bit, and people listen. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how
man.
we
We
doing
we
it over here.
we here now, Jay. We here.
Come on, come, come
Monologues
on,
and
hold up. We got.
I got the
Come
fucking
on,
applause. Yes, yes,
come
yes.
on. We not playing over here. We are
Boom, boom,
official.
boom, 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 boom. Yes, sir.
That's
Thank you,
how we
Jay.
rocking.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, so I'll get into it. I know you've heard this quote on social media. Um, Nobody feels sorry for a man. You probably heard that, right? And I agree,
Many a
but
time, many a
right,
time.
right. And I agree, but I don't think I don't think anyone should feel sorry for a man. In fact, I believe any man seeking validation or what he does or what he may be capable of from what he does or what he's capable of, I think that devalues or dare I say cheapens said action or capabilities of that man. Here's an example, right? If a fireman runs into a building, a burning building, at that very moment he's not thinking, "Hey man, when I do this, I fuck around be fireman of the year, man. They fuck around. They finna love me after I run out this burning building with this baby, right? No, that's not what it.
Yeah.
That's not what a fireman is. That's not what he's thinking. Seeking pats on the back, in my opinion, depreciates the value of the man brand, the brand of being a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And women, if you're listening, focus because you might be laying next to a nigga that will remind you he took out the trash last week, and that and that he'll stand on business if somebody disrespects you. Could be laying next to that motherfucker. Listen.
Remember when I made dinner, babe?
Hey, listen. Look, I'm not chasing. If a man has to chase trophies, you should always question his motives. Right? Trophies, validation, pity. I kind of lump all that shit into one. Right?
It's all the same.
All the same shit to me. Now, if you're a man and you're in a situation or relationship where you're not being valued and you might be thinking, man, I'm doing all this shit and I'm not even being appreciated. You don't seek out validation or valuation. You don't seek that out or chase it. You just leave the situation, whether it be a girlfriend, job, friendship, whatever. A man's quote unquote trophy is providing, protecting, and helping lead his family to their collective goals. And in that, the knowing of the importance of the role is the reward. That's what I think. So that's a fucking gunshot right there. So if you're a man, yeah,
Boy.
give me another one. If you're a man, be stoic. Because Jason will call you a bitch if you're not
Absolutely,
a
every
stoic
single
man,
time.
because in this current system, and I'll close out with this, because in this current system of how this world works, a man's presence and his depth of awareness is his most valuable asset. All right. So not your validation or your valuedation. So stop chasing pity or validation or valuation. Just handle your business as a man. No one's gonna fucking cheer for you. No one's gonna cry for you. Or they may, or but you shouldn't want that. You should just want that inner knowing of you are irreplaceable in the situation that you, or in the space that you preside in. Stop being a bitch.
Forever. No bitch assery allowed over here. And that is an amazing point, because the thing is, yeah, you might do some stuff and people might cheer, people might applaud, but that should only ever be a side effect of what it is that comes with what you're doing, not the thing that you seek. Because the problem with that is when you're seeking out the applause and the cheers and the validation and the valuation and the go you and the pats on the back, you start doing things specifically for that. Then you start catering to what it is that everybody else wants. And this is where people wind up selling their soul for shit, because they don't know what to do without someone patting them on the back and saying, yeah, go you. So they base all of their actions on what people are going to feel the best about, or what it is that they feel that people want from them. And they lose themselves in the process. And that's why all these people, or not all these people, but a lot of people are walking around so lost in all of that, because they're not staying true to themselves, because they gave it up for the approval of others. And I think that that is absolutely one of the worst things that you can do. Like you can if you're doing what it is that you're supposed to do, if what you know in your heart, if what you know in your soul to be the right thing, everyone's not going to agree with it, everyone's not going to like it, but such is fucking life. You have to stay true to you and to doing what it is that you know that you were supposed to do. It doesn't matter if you say something and 1,000 people tell you that's amazing, or 1,000 people tell you that you should kill yourself. If that's how you feel and that's what you think, you should stand on that shit regardless. Like, everyone's not going to support you. And if you want them to, and if they do, you're fake as fuck, because there's absolutely no one in the world who everybody likes. So someone who everyone likes is not at all true to who it is that they are. And I think that a lot of, especially men, run around being afraid to be who the fuck it is and say what the fuck it is that they feel and do the things that they know that they're supposed to do, because they're afraid that their friends are going to judge them, or random people online are going to talk shit, or their girl is going to leave them, or whatever the case. And all of that is bitch shit. Like, you can't live your life like that if you want to be who it is that you're supposed to be, and be anyone worthwhile, and do anything worthwhile, and ever accomplish anything, or stand on and mean anything in this life. Because like you said at the beginning, your goal is to protect, your goal is to provide, and your goal is to lead. You can't do those things looking for other people to tell you that you're doing the right thing. You need to know in your heart that what you're doing is right. You need to know in your heart that you are making the decisions that are best for you and the people that rely on you, regardless of who the fuck it is that feel about it. And going back to what you said about the relationship thing, a lot of people absolutely do that. Like, yo, I took out the trash last week, or, oh, I cleaned up the house the other day, or, you remember that date night that I took you on? It was real nice and real expensive. Like, yeah, maybe you don't get you don't get fucking flowers and trophies for every single one of those things, but that shouldn't be why you're doing it. You're supposed to do that because it's what you're supposed to do. If you're taking your girl out, it's because you want to treat her to a nice evening. And it's not for her to pat you on the back and tell you how fucking amazing you are. If you're doing that, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and you're the woman in the relationship in that fucking situation. But that's what all these people are doing. And I see the people online complaining about nobody cares how men feel. Nobody asks how we're doing. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck how you're doing? Who gives a fuck how you're feeling? Who gives a fuck if nobody's applauding for you? I saw somebody earlier posted a thing about, this is what Google does for Women's Day, and it was a picture, and then this is what Google does for Men's Day, and it's nothing. Who gives a fuck? Why do you want Men's Day? That's just gay as fuck. You need to just do what the fuck it is that you were supposed to do. Like, stop whining for this shit. This is people's problem, and these no emotional resilience, no fucking mental fortitude, no conviction, no principles, none of that shit. Just everybody look at me, everybody feel sorry for me, everybody applaud me, everybody cheer for me, everybody give me likes. Like I see grown ass men posting about I posted a video and nobody liked it. Shut the fuck up.
No
You know how much
support.
of a bitch you sound like that? Yeah. Where's my support? My friends don't support me. No one's supporting. Like shut up. How about that? How about shut the fuck up and be more interesting and then people will like it. Like but stop chasing likes and shit. This is hoe
Mm.
shit, and that is not meant as woman shit. This is hoe behavior. This is bitch behavior. This is what is wrong with society, and this is why people get away with pushing stupid shit and doing stupid shit because of men like this who are afraid to stand up for something and say no. I don't care who feels about it. This is wrong. I am not going along with this. I don't care how you feel about it. This is what I am doing because this is what I believe in my heart to be right. And until we get back to that and people doing that, we are always going to be fucked.
Yeah, man. When you mentioned the social media stuff, it kind of made me thinking, what role has that played in making things a little worse? When
Mm.
fucking, men turning into thoughts, nah, like for real, right? Like men turning into thoughts and trying to take favorable photos and hookah smoking and fucking, just a whole bunch of thought shit in in the wanting of response of, hey, look at me. Hey man, you don't support this? Hey man, you ain't like my photo. You know? And that goes back to my original point. Um, and I don't think social media is making it any better for men, or they're just getting softer. They're just getting softer. It kind of makes me think how sensitive men are nowadays, right? It wasn't like that, I mean, of course, things change and things evolve and stuff like that, but I don't, I don't like this evolution of man, right? I don't think it's ascending or trending in the right direction. Um, our temperament as a man is not ascending and trending in the right direction, in my opinion, man. Um, I don't I don't seek validation, and me being an artist, it's kind of a slippery slope, right? Because yeah, you want people to like your shit, and you want some form of validation, putting work out into the public. Even being a podcast or a content creator, you want to create content that people respond to, but that has nothing to do with being a man, right? I don't I don't take that same approach to that in my household, right? So, men, if you're a thought on Instagram, it's cool, man. Be a thought, right? But in real life, that shit ain't gonna fly, man. That type of attitude, that type of temperament does not fly in the real world. You can't bring that. You can't bring those ideologies into the real world and think that you're going to survive or be successful. So that's my spill on men seeking validation. Um, just be valuable, man. Like like I said in my little monologue, man, it's something in just knowing what you provide, and it's a quiet validation that you have within yourself. No one else gave it to you. You gave it to your fucking self. You know what that means? That means no one can take it from you.
Facts.
So you know what I'm saying? So I validate myself. So no one can change my mind on what I provide to my family or the world. So men, stop chasing validation, get your own validation, create your own validation within yourself, and you won't have to worry about that shit.
I mean, that's the only real form of validation that there is. Period. Like all of the rest of that shit is fake as hell. Like if you what's the saying? If you live for the applause, you'll die by the booze or whatever. It's exactly what
Mm.
you said. Like when
Let
you
me write
validate
that down,
yourself,
man.
nobody can take that from you.
Let me write that down, man. Come on, hold on. Going too fast. Yeah, give yourself a gunshot.
We out here, fucking, we out here.
What the fuck? Hold on. What you say that? Repeat that shit right there.
If you live for the applause, you'll die by the you'll die by the booze. You live by the applause, you'll die by the booze. Something like that.
Live by the applause. The applause. You'll die.
By
Applause.
the
Die.
booze.
Die by the boo. You'll die by the booze. Okay.
See, hold on.
Uh.
First of all, we got pause real quick because this is how ill we are on this podcast here. Is we just dropping gems even to each other right now. Like, come on, y'all need to be picking up on this shit because we picking up on this shit. We teach
It's
y'all, we teach
crazy.
each other. We killing it out here. Who the fuck is doing that? Nobody. And if they are, fuck them. We're doing it better. But
That's crazy. But Jay, I might have to. I might have to use that in bar. I'm gonna throw you a writing credit. I'm gonna use that.
hey, dude,
Don't
I'm
worry
here
about that.
for it.
I got
I'm
you.
here
Yeah.
for it.
Continue. My bad.
Um, if you could, the only true form of validation can come from who it is that you are. Going for the social media thing, right? Like if you put up a post and you need other people to like it and comment on it, then you're giving all of your power to all of these other people. And that's what I was talking about before, about people change their thoughts, their opinions, and their personality because other people feel a way about it. And this actually ties into the whole social media thing and what we were talking about before. I put up a post the other day that said, men who aren't stoic are basically women. And a bunch of
Yeah.
people got pissed off about the shit. There
Yeah.
was fucking hundreds of angry ass comments about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's
I like
fine.
the
But
post.
this is still what I think. I still believe this. And all of you are just sitting here throwing your little temper tantrum, which is proving my point. But what made me think of is somebody threw a comment in it that said, comment section isn't going your way, huh? And that's a great insight to how it is that people think. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel about this shit.
Oh,
I
that's
don't give a fuck that you
crazy.
don't like what I said. I said men who aren't stoic are basically women. And then I doubled down on it, made a video saying the exact same thing later because this is how I feel. This is what it is that I believe. And you can't take that from me because you're mad and you want to call me names from your little phone. I don't give a shit. I think what it is that I think. I feel what it is that I feel. I do what it is that I do. And I say what it is that I say. Feel about it however it is that you must. And going to the music thing like you referenced, I think that there's a reason that when you look at most people, their classic albums are their first and second type ones when they're unknown and nobody knows who it is that they are. Because as they start getting
Mm,
bigger, they start seeking out more validation for the stuff. Like even
mm,
if you take someone who is, I love DMX. It's Dark and Hell is Hot is one of my favorite albums, period. But there is a huge difference between It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh, and then there was X in the Great Depression. Not saying that those aren't good albums, but the first two are much better than those ones because those ones came out whenever he started getting big and started seeking, more so commercial appeal and stuff. Like if you look at like Jay-Z, even Jay-Z says his first album is Reasonable, or his best album is Reasonable Doubt. And that's what he made when nobody knew who the fuck it is that he was. But then he starts getting bigger and then he starts chasing more commercial shit. Then he, pops back later up in his career when he's retired and doesn't really give a shit and goes back to the super classic
ah,
albums like before, like American Gangster and
right,
shit. So you can
right.
even, yeah, you're making music in some capacity. You obviously want people to like it, but there's a difference in wanting people to like what you do and wanting to do what people like. And I think that most people do the second thing and give up the first thing. But it's in the first thing where you start getting the best stuff out. One of my my favorite examples of this, T.I., Trap Music, great album. Barely anybody knew who the fuck he was. And then you flip
Mm-hmm.
all the way to the other end and you start looking at Paper Trail and all of that stuff. It's a humongously different thing. It's a humongously different sound of clearly he's trying to replicate certain things that he did on his first album or second album, is whatever that one was. Because it's going from wanting people to like what you do to wanting to do what people like. And that's what most people fall into, still with the Instagram thing, and they take their pictures and they do the little selfies. And I see people talk about their stupid little hacks about finding viral, like all of that. All of this is you're just trying to get people to like you, and that's weird. That is not at all manly. That is very bitch like. You need to do you. You're always going to have better results doing your own shit and being your own person. Even if your audience is smaller, I guarantee you that you will have a better audience than the people who with the super huge followings and fan bases who are just pandering to everybody. Like, obviously, you have a smaller audience than Drake, but I would guarantee you that your audience gets much more from your music than people are getting from Drake shit. People are getting much more from the final call than they are from some sexy songs for you.
Yeah, no, you can't. You ain't smoking no hookah to my shit. We don't do that. Hey, man, look,
Drunk texting girls.
we ain't doing that shit. That's motherfucker. How you in your 40s and shit, and you drunk texting and blowing hookah smoke and shit? Like I don't, I mean, I'm a double down. Like when you say shit like that, men should be stoic, and if you're not, you're basically a woman. I agree too, right? And not just because you're fucking Yoda and the all I seeing knowing Yoda. I just agree with that. I thought that before I even met you. Right. Well, not physically met you, but online. I thought that's how we connected because we think the same. You know, and basically being stoic is just me. You not that you're emotionalist, like not like you don't have any emotions. It's just you know how to control them. That's the difference. That's what stoicism is. Oh man, you're cold. No, it's not that I'm cold. I feel exactly the same things as every other man or human being feels. I just handle them differently. And that doesn't make me cold or emotionalist and whatever you want to, whatever
It means you
negative
can keep your
connotation.
composure.
Yeah, right. Whatever negative connotation that they might put to that, it is what it is, man. Look, if I got a headache and you got a headache and you decide to bitch and moan about it, that's how you handle your headache. And I just decide, just like, man, let me just pop these pills and continue to do whatever the fuck I'm doing. If that's how I handle my headache, that's just that makes me a man and that makes you a bitch. To me, in my opinion, man. That's how I look at it. Right? So
That's that's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have with the shit. It's like because a bunch of people were like, "Oh, I'm sorry that I can feel emotion." It's not about feeling emotions,
oh
dumbass.
wow.
It's I'm sad sometimes too. But you know what I don't do when I'm sad? Sit in my fucking bed and put on my sad clothes and eat comfort food and watch sad movies and listen to sad songs and complain all day about poor me. I just keep doing shit while being sad. You can do that. It's not about being emotionless or having no feelings. It's about not letting your feelings control you and also not getting worked up over shit that you can't affect. Like, I understand some shit sounds bad. Yeah, okay, maybe someone you love died. But being sad isn't going to fix it. You moping around all day isn't going to fix it. You think you can resurrect people if you're dreary enough? Like, you think that's what's
Right.
going to happen? No,
Yeah.
you're just like,
No.
what are you doing? It's knowing how to handle shit, knowing what you can't affect, and being able to respond to things appropriately. And people are like, that's toxic. That's not toxic. You're just a bitch.
Yes, yeah. Like so I don't want to categorize anything, but I'm gonna say it. What species of human usually are more emotional?
Women, whoa, sexism and
All
misogyny.
right, there we go. Right, like even a woman would tell you she's emotional. I'm emotional, right? So that's why women, and like if you're in a relationship, both of y'all can't be a fucking soft piece of shit. I'm not calling women soft pieces of shit. I'm just saying like both of y'all can't be emotional, man. Someone has to be the pillar. Someone has to be the rock. Someone has to be the stone. And I'm not saying that a female cannot do that because most for a lot of times there are women that's fucking rocks and stones but for the most part in a working relationship, in a great working relationship, that woman gets to be, not has to be, gets to
Gets
be
to be.
soft and emotional, right? Because you
And
allow
the
her to.
man gets to be solid.
Right,
Get.
right. You right. Get you allow her to be that. See, women make the mistake and say, "Well, I'm independent. I'm hard." No, that's because you have to be, right? That's because of lack of what a man provides. So if a man provided the same thing, you wouldn't have to be as hard and independent and strong. You wouldn't have to be that if you had a strong, real man, right?
You have a shoulder to cry on.
Right, right. Exactly. So now this is why men, the disconnect between men and women are present, because you have a real man to come along, a stoic man who knows how to control his emotions and know when to use certain emotions and how to use them, and a woman who's basically a fucking man and stoic as ever too, and and both of y'all are like this, bumping heads,
Yep.
bumping heads. She doesn't get to let her guard down and be soft and nurturing and what she's supposed to be, because she's so used to taking on the world, right? And that's what a man is supposed to do. That's how I look at the world, right? That's how I look at the world. So when you say if you're not stoic, you're basically gay. I fucking agree 100%, and I'm sure our women out there, our real women, they like, yeah, man, I don't want no bitchy man who getting.
Yeah, like y'all can't both be sitting there breaking down, crying together. What good is that?
What
what
the fuck is what is that, man?
does that do? Can't neither of y'all talk and shit? Y'all both just sitting there weeping at each other?
Yeah,
What's that
no,
gonna do?
right. See, look, that's a great point. And to your other point about, I love the point you made about um DMX and Jay and basically artists as a whole, and their first project being their coming out party, because they don't give a fuck. No one knows them. They want to put their best foot forward. And especially and there's some nuances there though, Jay, because it's not in that situation. It's not just like it's not just the artist, right? It's
Yeah,
the
they
it's
got
the
other
record
inputs.
label. It's the So I just want to add that context for my artists out there, because I've never had a corporation behind me or backing me, so my first album can sound like my last album. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care. Like, I don't have any corporations say, "Hey man, you gotta appeal to these ladies," or "Hey man, you're not in the clubs," and "Hey man, you need a bigger demographic," and all these fancy words. So there is nuances and certain things that an artist has to navigate when being a signed artist or signed to a huge corporation that's put millions of dollars in backing to make you famous and to have you later go on a interview and pretend you're gay or whatever the case may be. So you know how this shit works. You know how this shit works. Don't laugh. You know how this shit works. You know how this shit works. Motherfucker,
Yeah.
motherfucker hey man, corporation put a milli up. You out here, if you a female, you take your shirt off, you're shaking your tits. If you're a man, you out here putting dresses on and
Yep,
shit.
that
You
was
know how this shit works. You know how this shit
that
works,
was a
man.
real good song. You gay now or you're a hoe. So
You know how
go
this
make it
shit works.
happen.
You know how this shit works. And actually that's a great segue. I was gonna go into something else, but that is a great segue, because I sent you a clip earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you a clip earlier of this artist. Her name is she's a new artist, and she's a talented artist. Her name is Doche. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't taken a deep dive into her music, but I have heard her rap, and my first impression is she's talented, right? The act of rapping and is different from lyricism and stuff like that, but that's a different conversation to be had. But in the act of rapping, she could rap her ass off. She can rap. I haven't taken a deep dive into her lyricism, which is something different. Meaning, I don't know what she's saying in these songs. I'm just hearing a flow. At first listen, I listen to the flow, the confidence, the diction, the comfortability, all that shit. I'm listening to that. All those things are there. So I sent you a clip of this Dolce, and she's on a show called. She appears to be on a show called Hot Ones. I fucking actually love that show. But go figure, right? But in this clip, boy, Jay, I'm trying to get through my shit here. I'm trying to throw this alley oop for you. So in this in this particular clip, Miss Dolce is eating some fucking hot wings and shit. But the original host is not there, which is Sean Evans. He doesn't seem to be in this clip. I could speculate, but why do that, right? This is game within the game, so we'll speculate later, or we'll deduct what may be going on or whatever. But Sean Evans isn't in this clip, and in this particular clip, she's being asked a series of questions by what's her name, DJ Miss Malone. I've never heard of her, but they seem to have a decent relationship. In the clip, and one of those questions was, what is the biggest red flag when dating a man? What is the biggest red flag? And she goes on to say, the biggest red flag is, and she turns over this fucking whiteboard where she wrote down a straight man. That is her biggest red flag, for you to be straight. You're on a date with a man, and your biggest red flag is for that man that you're on a date with. Your red flag is that he wants to have sex with you.
It's crazy.
That's the red flag. He's not your brother. He's not on a date with your brother. He's on a date with you. But
pure hatred right there.
But you don't want him to have sex with you. You just on a date just to be on this date. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But I see, the comments. Oh, she has the right. Oh, go girl, and all this fucking stupid shit. Listen, her sexual preference is her business, and I don't care about her preference. Right? I don't give a fuck. I don't even need to know that information. You know why? Because I don't highlight my preferences, and I don't want anybody to care other than other than me being married or a great father or the greatest rapper alive or whatever the case, whatever I might throw at you. Other than that, I don't want you to care about my personal business, right? I don't even want you to care. You're not going to know, but I wouldn't want you to care anyway, right? But Jay, I find this to be more deeper than just that. I find this to be more about not her preference, because this clip was the first clip to be released. This is the clip we seen first to promote this episode, right? So, and on this show, we always say, why are we seeing this, right? So forget her preference. Why is this the first clip we're seeing to promote this show, right? That's the first thing I ponder while doing my game within the game shit that I do. I read between the lines. So I'm wondering, why is this the first episode? Why are we seeing this, right? I'll let you answer that before I go on. Why are we seeing this, Jay?
So here's what this is what I think. And I want to preface this with, we talked before when we were discussing Kanye's recent tweets, how people will go and attach certain types of hate labels to things to prevent you from ever being able to discuss the actual substance of what's being said and just focus on that label. So when people say things like this, they immediately say, that's homophobic, this being what it is that I'm about to say. Now, So we're going to put that out of the way. If you have an actual brain, then you can look past that to dissect what it is that we are saying and say, is what he's saying making any degree of sense? Is what you're saying going to make any degree of sense? I don't fully know what that is yet, but we're going to find out as we unravel this here. So when people talk about the gay agenda, people get mad and assume that you're talking about Larry across the street who's married to a man, or your fucking Aunt Cassie who is into women. Nobody is talking about them as individuals. People are talking about the push by the powers that be and the media mechanism, whatever it is that you would like to call it, right? So it is undeniable to anyone who could sit there and be objective that homosexuality is being pushed and encouraged across all of this stuff. You see it in the TV shows, you see it in the music, you see it in the movies, you see it from the
Commercials.
politicians, you see it from commercials, you see it from Target, you see it from Walmart, you see it everywhere. Now that you at a certain point you have to sit there and ask, why all of a sudden do you think that all of these powers that be came together and at the same time decided we're Team Rainbow? I'm sure that makes sense to some people because they have felt like they were left out or shunned because of their sexual preference. And I understand that might be the comforting belief to them. But I would also go so far as to say that the reason that they have used this is because it's a comforting belief to you, and they could very easily mask it under the thing of this tolerance and inclusion, right? So the question is, why is it that they are pushing it on you? And for what I can see, this kind of goes back to the beginning of what we were talking about dudes being bitches on social media and making their little gay little fucking selfies and all of that whatnot with their filters, or being unable to show up as the man in the relationship, or not standing for any sort of principles or morals or beliefs or anything like that. All of this goes along with the idea that they are subtly discouraging strength and bravery and anything that is traditionally masculine. Now, again, I know like people like to cloak these things in terms like misogyny, if I was to say the feminization of men. But if you could get your head out of your ass for a second and understand that everything is not about these stupid little buzzwords, that's exactly what it is. Females are traditionally the softer gender of the two. So when you're making men soft, you are feminizing them. There's nothing wrong with being feminine if you're a female, but you're a man. So the question then is, why is it that they want men to be soft and bitch-like everywhere? And my answer is, of course, because people who are soft and bitch-like are easily scared and easily compliant and will easily go along with whatever it is that they would like. So when we find out things like there is a secret island with all of these children stuff going on, then no one is masculine or powerful and or bold enough to stand up and do anything about it. It's so that when they want to go overseas and fund all of these wars under the guise of helping people out, when really you're just funneling billions of taxpayer dollars and killing bunches of innocent people, no one has the courage to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. It's so when they tell you, hey, stay inside your house until we tell you to come out so you don't start sneezing, then everyone's like, okay, that's what's best for me. So that's why all of this stuff, to me, from what I could see, this is my deduction skills, is pushed against, because they don't want you, like exactly what people said. We were talking about the post. I said men who aren't stoic are basically women. People thought that them saying something against it would have me back down, would have me apologize, would have me take it down, would have me rethink or clarify. No, because I am not that. I am not what it is that they push on you. And I have absolutely no intention of being. But they don't want more people to be like that. They don't want more people to stand up and say, no, fuck you, this is not what we are doing. Do something about it and do what we're going to do about it. Because a lot of the people who are in power are only in power because no one is willing to take that power from them. Like if you look at these people, right? People thought Joe Biden was a powerful person, but if I was to smack Joe Biden, he would probably die. Like these aren't actually powerful people. These are people who are powerful by their ability to control narratives and therefore brainwash people into complying. Those are two very different things. If we were to take this back to the Roman Empire days or the days of Mongolia and Genghis Khan, it would look very differently. But at some point, the softer people found a way to work their way into the position of power, and their way to keep people out of power is with these little brainwashing things, is with pushing these narratives on people that you get people to subscribe to. Oh, you're a man, but you don't have to be manly. It's okay for you to cry and put on a dress and lipstick, and you need people to care about your feelings. It's okay to lay in bed for weeks and just feel how it is that you feel. People need to care about that. It's important. Go join your little cry circle. No, working out is bad. Strength isn't good. Stoicism is bad. And these people, because it takes work, it takes effort to be to be strong, and most people don't want to exert themselves. They want to do the easier thing, so they go with what's easier, and the easier thing is to be a weak little bitch, and it's just pushed on them, so therefore it's reinforced. But again, these are just my musings here.
No, 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 Yoda. It's, no, 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 no.
Hold up. I want to gunshot myself real quick.
No, you're fucking right. Um, and if you critically think, um, if you critically think what think about what you're saying, you would find great logic into what you say. Most of the things, or well, if not all of the things you deduct or we deduct on this show is based in logic. We're not just pulling these things out of air. Um, and just to kind of end off the fucking whole whatever Doge, whatever her fucking name is and shit. And what we do here is we question, right? And I have another question. Her doing this charade, whatever you want to call it, the propaganda, is it part of her, and not just her, these celebrities, is it part of their ascension to stardom? Is it predicated? Is their ascension to stardom and predicated on some of these antics? And I say part because there is talent there, right? So it's not all, even though they do try to shove fucking mindless junkies in our face to rap about and shake their ass and do a whole bunch of shit. There is talentless artists, but there are certain artists and celebrities and actors and all this shit with talent. But usually that comes with antics, right? So can you be normal? Can you be a normal superstar? Is that such a thing, to be a normal superstar, or to be normal and have great influence? Let's just say that. Can you be normal and have great, or first, can you be normal and have great influence? Can you stay normal and have great influence? Because I question, why isn't people like, let's stick to females, why isn't Rhapsody or my personal favorite, Shay Noir, or these other
Mm,
these
Jean Grey.
females. Yeah, Jean Grey. Why aren't they pushed in a certain way? Or I mean, it's not like they tried to push them and it failed, right? I could see that. Like, oh man, well look, we put $1 million behind Rhapsody, or $5 million behind Rhapsody. It didn't work. It didn't come back. But you didn't. There's no effort with any of this, or any artist who's not going with the agenda, either lyrically or musically or sonically, or in their social lives, or their lives lived out in the public. They're not going with, they're not going with the norm or what they want to be the norm. So I know that's a loaded question, but first, can you be a normal superstar? And then can you stay a normal superstar? And why isn't other female artists? Why isn't Rhapsody and Shade? Why wouldn't they try to put that in front of us instead of the opposite?
So, all right, I have multiple layered thoughts here. So in relation to being a normal superstar, right? Like I take like pop stars have always been kind of a different thing because they've always been pushed upon people, so to speak. You know, like I don't really believe that like Britney Spears or Katy Perry or Christina Aguilera. This is not a knock to them, their talent or their music,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't believe that they're organic creations in the same way
No.
that Nas was
Right.
or Wu Tang or whatever. So I
Right.
think that there is a cap to that, right? Where you look at like now you have people who came up in the 90s before anybody knew what to really do about it, right? Like Nas is a super, not in the way that Katy Perry is a superstar, but Nas is a superstar as much as he could probably be coming from where it is that he came from and being who it is that he is and doing what it is that he does, right? And then, so you have those era of people who kind of preceded all of this before they knew they what to do with stuff. And then you have people from the beginning of the 2000s who started out a certain way when they were kind of trying figuring out who you see kind of stay true to who it was that they are. One example that comes to mind is 50 Cent, right? So he came, he popped up, he got big, he went to a certain point, and then they kind of just stopped fucking with him. And partially, I believe that's because he was unwilling to participate in certain things and do certain things, right? Like he's been against Diddy for decades,
Right.
forever. So
Right.
that logic would stand that he's against whatever it is that may or may not come with that, right? So once he got to a certain point, he kind of just like tapered off and they stopped fucking with him, even though he was
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing in the world up until
Mm-hmm.
the thing with Kanye. And then you have certain people like who they don't want to be big like Kanye, but can't seem to really do anything about him being big. And once you got to a certain point, I think that everyone who has gotten past a certain point has partaken in certain things. Like you could take a look at the trajectory of a lot of people's careers and see where it is that they wound up. For example, I know we speak about Drake a lot, but if you look at Drake in 2013, 2015, whatever, he was just a regular dude wearing Timberlands with a fade who liked old rappers and shit, right? Or older hip hop and shit. And now he looks gay as fuck with his duck lips and his outfits. I'm just saying, what happened? What happened? So is the organic growth of a lot of people to just look gay? I don't personally believe that that's the case. No. And I do believe that the continued relevance of certain people is predicated upon them participating in certain things. Like you said, can you get rich without playing the game, without participating in the thing? The Baby was the biggest artist in the world until he said something that he wasn't supposed to say, and then everybody stopped fucking with him. Now, the question is, does everybody disagree with him, or are the people who were in charge of pushing him in disagreement with him? And then if you go back and you look at what it is that he said, you see exactly how that relates to this and the thing that Doechii, however you say her name, no disrespect to her, was talking about. So it's the same thing you saw. What's the horse guy? The Old Town Road guy?
Say that again. He was breaking up.
The Old Town Road guy? He was a country singer. Then he's gay and drinking the devil's blood.
Little Nas X, yeah.
Yeah, so he was a country singer that nobody cared about, and then he was the biggest thing in the world, and he was gay and dressed up like a gay cowboy, and he sells blood in his shoes or some shit like that. So there's a lot of things that you look at and you see these people do these certain things, and everybody seems to hit a certain level of fame and start doing these certain types of things. And
is it a coincidence? It's not a coincidence.
It could, that's what I'm saying. It would be really weird to think that it's a coincidence. As we talked about before, it would be really weird that everybody at a certain level of fame and notoriety has the exact same political opinions. It would be really weird that everybody at a certain level of fame and notoriety had the exact same perspectives about these identity politics issues when the country in and of itself is very divided on it. How is it that everyone who didn't get famous is divided, but y'all got famous and y'all all think the same thing? That seems weird to me. Now, is it possible? Sure, maybe, probably, but my common sense detector and deduction skill says at a certain point, they tell people that they have to think certain things. And you see what happens to the people who don't. You see what happened to Kanye. You see what they did to Joe Rogan during the pandemic. You see what they did to Russell Brand or Andrew Tate or Conor McGregor or anybody who is not participating in certain things kind of faces a very similar fate. Huh?
or controllable. They seem to these.
They all seem to face a very similar fate. You saw the same thing happen to Trump. He's someone pointed out he was the first president in a very long time who didn't go to war, and all of a sudden he was impeached 18 million times and charged with a bunch of things and a rapist. Like,
Yeah, it seems like these dudes, whether you agree with them or not, I think what can be universally agreed upon is that they're wild cards. They're probably hard to contain or control, right?
see, that's the thing. Whether you agree with Kanye or not, it'd be very difficult to say someone's telling Kanye what to say. Whether you
Right,
agree with Andrew Tate or not, it'd be very difficult to say that someone is telling him to say these things.
right.
So, and it's all of the people that are so divisive are the people who are saying opposite. Whether you agree with them or not, it doesn't matter. What you can sit there and look at and say these are their own thoughts. And it seems that there's something that people don't like about people having their own thoughts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of dove deep into that. I didn't even want to get into that deep into douchey, whatever fuck her name is. I knew it was something wrong with her, which I don't know. She came out of nowhere. I thought she was dope, and she was like, "Yo, she rapping her ass off." Then the next minute, I see a video of her freestyling, shaking her titties and shit. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh, damn,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I seen she was gyrating and shit, shirt off and shit, freestyling. I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay. That's that. How you
This
go
is
from
irrelevant, but you know what that makes me think of is Jasmine Sullivan.
yeah."
No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you
Who's this
talking about
chick?
I know who you're talking about the
Victoria Monet.
yeah, is it Victoria?
I think
It's Monet.
Janelle Monet.
Janelle, there you go. There
Janelle
you
Monet.
go.
Yeah,
There you
she was
go.
the more underground. She was on like Wale first album doing all her little soulful type shit.
Now
And she
look,
was an actor. And then all of a sudden she's on stage with her titties out.
butt naked.
Like
Butt naked, I know.
what's the switch there?
Man, look, we know the switch. We know the switch. Motherfuckers try. And speaking about these fucking despicable women. I'm just, I'm being for you for you people out there, I'm fucking being jovial here, man.
Relax,
All
people. It's
right.
a joke.
All right.
Goodness.
God damn. She's
Can't say shit.
why not? Douchey, she's not despicable. I don't know as a fuck. I just threw that out there. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. But segueing into this, recently, I think you told me that. You texted me and you sent me something about that I had to look into. I didn't know much about, but Casey Anthony, uh, this bitch. I could call her a bitch and just say it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, this bitch put a TikTok, whatever the fuck that is. She puts a TikTok out. I guess you tell me people are outraged or whatever the case may be.
People were very, very upset.
Yeah. How about this? I don't give a fuck about. First of all, this bitch to me, she shouldn't even be fucking alive. She So for context, this is the woman that, if I'm not mistaken, she killed her baby, her 2-year-old, in 2008. Correct, Jay?
It's 2008, 2012, some shit
Something
like
like
that.
that. She
It
was
was a while
convicted.
ago.
She was convicted in 2011 or something like that. But it happened in
She was
2000.
found innocent.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait. Whoa.
See, this is
No,
this is
wait. No, wait. So let me give my little rundown before you even get into that, because my understanding is that she was found guilty and she's doing these TikToks from fucking prison. You mean to tell me? And to refresh people's memory, Casey Anthony, her mother, I think it was her mother, not her mother-in-law. Her mother called the police because her grandbaby, which is Casey Anthony's daughter, was missing for a month, and subsequently was found later on. The skeletal remains were found. I thought that Casey Anthony was charged with the murder. You mean to tell me
Hmm.
this bitch got off? Or was she what?
Hmm.
I don't look. Fill me in because was she
Yeah, they,
guilty? Was it what's going? Wait,
now
wait.
she was found not guilty.
No, I mean,
And that,
you know what I mean. But not the judicial system guilty.
see, here's
With
the
your deduction, was the bitch guilty?
so here's see this was the point that I wanted to get to
Yeah,
here.
because I'm confused. I thought this bitch was doing
The
life.
the problem that people have here is they have pieced together these things of the cases from everything that the media
Yeah,
has said. And the media painted her to be very guilty
yeah,
based off of all of the stuff it is that they said she did, the evidence
yeah.
that she found. Obviously, I wasn't part of the evidence collection team. I wasn't an investigator. I wasn't in the courtroom. So the media made her sound very, very guilty. And then she got found not guilty. And everybody was outraged by this because they swore that she did it and she needs to be in jail. Now, I'm not here to make a case for whether or not she did or didn't do it because I don't know, quite honestly. I wasn't there. There's no way that I can know, and nobody else does either. But what that made me think of is this: people have all of this energy for people who get accused of crimes, charged with crimes, arrested for crimes, right? With, well, they act like because they were arrested they were guilty, or because they're going to trial that they're guilty, or because they were accused they're guilty. But then they have somebody who goes through all of this thing, goes through the entire legal process, and is found not guilty, but people don't care about that
Mm.
because they wanted her to be guilty. They don't specifically fully truly care about any of the other stuff but what it is that they believe to be true, and they want what it is that they believe to be true to be proven. So
This is a great example, Jay, of what you're trying to say because I am one of those people. I glossed over all the right, and I just went to the surface level shit. You mentioned it was late in the week. You mentioned it. I was like, yeah, let me go just look up a couple of excerpts from this bitch Casey. Oh yeah, yeah, they think she guilty. She did that. Man, that bitch guilty. I wish the bitch was dead. So, so I didn't even. I didn't. I'm a perfect example of what you are just describing right now. I I looked at the surface level information and I deducted whatever I was going to deduce, whatever I was going to say to you. Um, I got that from the surface level information that I got online.
see, that's because people are so quick, they just want to condemn people to certain things. I'm not saying what she did, I don't know. But the point is, people act like if you're going to act as though an accusation or an arrest or a trial means that someone is guilty, then you need to keep that same energy when they get an acquittal.
Mm.
And when they are acquitted, you need to flip and pivot and say that they are now innocent and you were mistaken. Or you need to do what the much more logical thing is and stop listening to exactly what it is that the TV tells you and just going with the sensationalized shit, and understand that you don't know what it is that's going on and that everything that's being told to you is being told to you for a reason. And whatever it is that you think is what it is that they want you to think. Obviously, they painted her as guilty because they wanted you to view her as guilty. So the question is, why did they want you to view her as guilty? Then she was innocent, and then they reported it this way because they wanted everyone to be outraged. Why did they want everyone to be outraged by it? These are the questions that people should be asking instead of looking at the individual facts, or excuse me, the individual tidbits of information about the specific thing. The specific thing 9 times out of 10 is some sort of scapegoat, some sort of distraction, some sort of red herring, some sort of, hey, look at this while I do this over here. Like, somebody asked me, I did Q&A the other day. Somebody asked me, I think it was from watching the podcast about all of the stuff with Diddy, and it's like, why the benefit of the doubt for Diddy or whatever. And I said the point of it, the point of this isn't whether or not Diddy did something. That's not relevant. I mean, it is to some people, yes. But whether or not Diddy did something isn't the point. The point is, if Diddy's been doing something, he's been doing it for decades. So the question is, why are they arresting him for what he's doing now? And if he's not doing anything, then the question still is, why are they arresting him for this now? The question is not what, it's why. But people get so wrapped up on the what that they don't pay attention to the why. And then they decide what it is that they want the outcome to be. Diddy got arrested. Now they want him to go to jail because they want him to be a terrible person. They don't care about the rest of this stuff.
Okay, so here's some pushback, right? And and this is with me. I can't speak for anyone else. When I glossed over this case and of Casey Anthony, what stuck with me and what I know you love this word, what triggered me is the deceased 2-year old. I don't care about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I want whoever was responsible to fucking die.
Mm-hmm. As they
So,
should.
right. So I want whoever, I want them, if it was her, her mother, her father, I think they accused her father, or stepfather, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I didn't dive deep into it. So my initial response was not that of, with Diddy and a bunch of fucking consensual adults and who can make choices, or even like fucking OJ. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that people die, but these are adults and
These are the consequences of your actions, he
yeah,
was
yeah,
like.
like not to say anyone should die, but if you're fucking you in your 40s, 50s, man, you have to know if you make a wrong move, you could get knifed down or hit by a car or whatever the case may be,
You
right?
know what comes with the choices that you make.
Right. So these are adults. So when you mention those cases, it's like, yeah, well, these are adults. That you make choices. You make the wrong choice, you might end up dead. You make the right choice, you ain't going to end up dead. Who knows? I could step out this door, but it's my choice. As a child, I have no choices. So when I overlooked the case, my initial thing was like, oh well, this is a fucking baby, a baby that whoever's responsible, they got to fucking fuck her, fuck this bitch, and I'm thinking like going over the case. This is so to push back. My pushback would be this. This is a little different with me because of the situation and the people involved and the baby involved. So the first thing that comes to mind is the baby for me.
So absolutely, I agree with that because the thing of it is, someone has murdered a 2-year-old, and this 2-year-old child absolutely deserves justice and repercussions to whoever did the thing. But what
ASAP.
I'm the point that I'm making about the prior thing is, see, it's exactly in what it is that you said, is you want whoever did it to pay for it. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
else wanted her to pay
Right.
for it. Now, if she did
Right.
it, she should. Absolutely. But a part of the problem with this is you're so insistent on this, and this is her that she did it, that you're not, at a certain point you become no longer seeking justice for the child, but repercussions for her. And that's what the difference between the two is. If you truly wanted justice for this child, and you actually, like, the legal system means something to you, as everyone acts like it does because she was accused and charged and went to court, then they're saying that means that she's guilty. That's saying that the legal system means something. So we might know different, but if you have any degree of faith in the legal system, as people do, because they take these accusations as fact, they take these trials as fact, they take imprisonment as fact. Okay, cool. Then you also need to take the outcome of that and accept that as fact. And now your energy should shift to, you should have that exact same energy that you had for her, to wanting to find whoever it is who is responsible for this child. Because another question that I would ask is, why, after she was acquitted, did they stop investigating this child's death?
That's crazy. That
Shouldn't you keep that going? That's what I'm saying. People
yeah.
get so caught up in wanting her to go to jail that they forgot that the point is what you said. The point is what you made about, this baby deserves better, because this child had no agency. This child could not make decisions. This child could not defend itself. This child couldn't have chosen better. And that's who it is that we're supposed to look after. That's who it is that we are supposed to protect. It's not about yelling at it. Maybe she did it. If she did, yeah, she absolutely deserves to be in jail. She deserves a death penalty. She deserves all that shit. She shouldn't be on TikTok making videos. She shouldn't be doing anything. She should be suffering and paying for her crimes against an innocent creature, 1000%. But if she didn't do it, y'all need to stop with your little pitchforks and torches and shit for this bitch, and go take all of that and look for the person who did it, because quite possibly, maybe there is a child murderer out there wandering around
Sure.
free, and y'all don't even give a fuck because you're mad that this bitch is making TikToks. So in that scenario, how much do you really care about what it is that she did? Do you want justice for this baby, or do you want to see this woman suffer?
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so I have no emotional attachments to Casey Anthony, other than I thought I'd read, and my emotional attachment would be with the child and the situation of the case. And like you said, if by chance there is a child murderer running around, and let me ask you this: is that for us to deduct or be mad or try to figure out, or because you said people should be out looking for, no, shouldn't shouldn't the police be out, or the
That's well,
detectives, whatever the fuck, shouldn't they be out looking, continuing to look for this person that may have done this?
yes, when I say people should have that same energy, they should have the same energy for them wanting people to go and find
Yeah, okay.
this killer of this person. Not they should get up and do it themselves. No, they're idiots and they just do whatever is on TV. They have
All right,
absolutely no business doing
had to
that.
clear that
They should
up.
have the same energy for the powers that be, for whoever it is, for the detective should be out detecting, and the little dog sniffing dogs should be out sniffing, doing a little canine thing. Like the judge should be handing out search warrants for all of these other people
Yeah,
and pulling their little CCTV for whatever the fuck it is that they do. That's what should be out happening, and that's what these people should be encouraging. But they instead they're like, oh no, she's on TikTok. And again, if she's guilty, absolutely support this. Fuck her, fuck what it is that she's doing, and fuck her freedom. She shouldn't be free if she's guilty. But I don't know that, you don't know that, they don't know that. Nobody really truly knows it except for her. And
yeah,
who if someone else did it, them.
yeah. It makes me think of the Michael Jackson case. It was a lot of wacko jacko. This guy's a this guy's that. We don't often remember that he was acquitted. Right, when he went to court, and he was. No one mentions that he wasn't charged for any of these things. He wasn't. He didn't go to jail. He didn't nothing. He won his case. He won his case.
Yep.
So
See,
no
this
one.
is
Yeah, no, I don't mean to cut you off, but no one. I don't want to say no one because we mentioned it, but a lot of people tend to gloss over the fact that he was found innocent. So is that I got my own feelings about the judicial system, of course, and I'm sure you do too. I don't think that system is. I don't think that system is put together to find guilty people, right? And that's a whole nother it's a whole nother subject. But yeah, so what's your point that you're trying to make brings me to that particular case where the person was going to court, going through his just due and what he has to do through the court system. He was hated. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it. Everybody wants to feel like he did it. He was acquitted. However, he got acquitted, or whatever. People tend to bring up these extra shit like, oh, well, he paid off this. I'm gonna look. The system is the system, right? Like you said, if you believe in the system, he did this. He went through the due just process of the court system. Was found not guilty. That should be that, right? But that's not how this shit works.
so Michael Jackson is a is a great example of that, because yeah, he was accused of all of these things and then he was found innocent. But what people don't realize, I can go and accuse every single person that lives by me of anything. And some of them, depending on what the crime is, will be arrested for that until they make their bail and then they do their investigation. So someone being accused of something doesn't make them guilty. Someone being arrested for something doesn't make them guilty either. Like if certain people call the police on you, then sometimes they have to leave with somebody in handcuffs, regardless of whatever the fuck it is that happened. Then you got to go through this little stint, this little process here. So but people take accusations or rumblings or whatever the case may be as fact of guilt. And my further belief of that is that people don't actually care if these people are guilty or not. They don't actually care if Michael Jackson did anything. There are people who just wanted to see Michael Jackson fall. They just wanted to see him no longer be Michael Jackson, the king of pop and all of that shit. And as soon as they got the opportunity to jump on that, they were excited and they were happy. You see, this is not support of Diddy. I don't know anything about that. But the point, at the end of the day, he hasn't been to trial. He hasn't even really been charged with anything. Like, you can't just take, because you don't like people or you get mad that people are doing good, for their rights to be violated, is the point, right? It doesn't matter if you don't like him. That's fine. You don't need to like him. Maybe you don't want him to succeed. That's fine. Maybe you want him to fail, right? But you can't vote for or champion the system impeding upon his rights, because then that sets terrible precedent, and they could do that shit to everybody. But going back to the Michael Jackson thing, he was acquitted. If you actually had some real stake or concern in this, then that should mean something to you. The fact that they dropped all of the charges, he wasn't found guilty of anything. He didn't go to jail. He wasn't on probation. He wasn't on parole. He didn't have to settle things outside of court or anything like that. They were like, oh, nope, nothing here, done.
One
But
thing,
nobody
Jay.
cares about that.
One thing, Jay. And I'm chiming in because I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm like, okay, sparking shit, right? I'm like, you're right, but I'm like, that's dangerous, because, and here's why I say that's dangerous. Not what you said, the power of media or perception, right? It seems to be dangerous, right? Not seems to be. It's fucking dangerous. So if we are going to come on this show and claim that 99% or even more than that, 99.9% of the people are sheeps, right? Do we blame the sheep or do we blame the wolves for herding the sheeps in a direction where they want them to go? Because that's what this is, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if media wanted Mike or Casey or anybody else to look a certain way, that's the way they were going to look to the sheep, right? So
Yep.
so where do we start to correct some of these things? Because the dangerous part of it is it is the dangerous part being the sheep, or actually being the wolf, swaying the herd in these it's particular mindsets, right? So it's like,
Yep.
yeah, which one is the more dangerous part? Because it seems to be like the media has a stronghold on people's minds and their perceptions of what things may or may not be.
So the way I see it, the way I view it, is the way that things are set up now are very different than they were back in the day, or even in places like China or Russia, where you have to comply or you have to do certain things or you get murdered or arrested. That's not how it is here, at least not on a small scale level. You see once people get to a certain point and they start making a certain type of waves, and yeah, shit happens to them. But so the way that shit is set up here, the control and the slavery is set up here, is that people seem to be given or appear to be given the choice to opt into it, right? So it's voluntary up to a degree. Like, you could say that people are conditioned this way from the time that you're a child. Yes, absolutely you are. From the time that you're 4 or 5 years old and you start school, they start conditioning you, and they start conditioning you to be a certain way, not ask certain questions, not do certain things, and be used to a certain structure. And you go all the way about that for 18 to 22 years of your life. You are told that what you see on the TV is fact. The TV tells you what it is that they want you to think. But anyone also has the opportunity and the ability to stray from that path. Now, the problem is the people on the path are also conditioned to shun the people who step off of the path. So most people are not willing to step off of that off of the path because they're afraid of being shunned. And then the ones that do deal with it, then they disappear, they get real far away, and the people kind of forget about them until they pop back up, and then they're free to fill in their own narratives of what happened between then and when it is that they saw them again. And that's where you get all of this cheating and everyone who's successful sold their souls and all of that stuff, because you could fill in the blanks, you didn't see them do it. So you saw them leave the path, you saw it worked out well for them, but you were convinced that it's through all kinds of nefarious means and whatnot, and that encourages you to stay upon the path that you're walking. So people don't want to leave the path. It's like, have you ever seen The Village, the M. Night Shyamalan
Yeah.
thing,
Yep.
where it's all the
Yep.
people in the village and they're told that there's
Yep.
monsters in the forest?
Hmm.
So they're making them stay there, but also not really, because they could just wander off in
Right.
the forest.
They
But
could
they're
just
not willing
walk
to
out.
do it because they believe there's monsters in the forest. So people
Yeah.
are free to leave at any point in time. And while I do agree that a lot of it falls on the nefarious agendas of the herders and whatnot for leading the sheep, I'm still a big believer in personal accountability, and it's that you chose to follow them at the end of the day, because we were led down the same path from the time we were told the same things, but we stepped off and did something else. We're not doing what it is that they are doing, because at some point in time they said to me, they said to you, this is a fact, and we thought, I don't think that that's a fact.
Right. Right. Right.
And it just kind of went from there, right? So maybe they didn't have certain experiences. Maybe nothing ever happened to unlock their mind or click in their way. I don't know. I can't really speak to that. But it's the same exact way that we were talking about, I think, either an episode or two ago, about how people talk about, well, the government put these drugs in our neighborhood. Sure, okay, but you didn't have to use the drugs.
Hmm. Yeah. It's just I just
So
think I think the percentage of people that would break free from the herd is probably lower than we think, and we think it's not too many.
So what I also think, though, another thing is, do you want most people to break free from the herd? Because then you just got scattered shit everywhere, right? Because
Yeah.
the point is, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right? Like, I have a house, you have a house, I have a car, you got a car. Like, people need to do we need people in order for things to function. And while everyone has the ability to accomplish great things, if everyone was off doing their own individual great thing, it limits the things that individual people can do, and it also limits it just limits everything, right? Like, you can build, like, Elon Musk could build this giant company because he has people that work for him. But if every single person had their own individual ambitions and the drive to build their huge company, it would mean that everyone's company can only be built up but so high, because at a certain point you need other people, but the other people that you need are off doing their own thing. So you need people to participate in the system, and to me, I think that the end goal, or the idea, is more so to do our part to kind of keep the system in check than to break
Mhm.
it itself, to get people from going.
Yeah.
Because obviously they have to have a little bit of power, but if they have too much power, then that's where we wind up in fucking 1984 and no one could do anything. That's where, you ever seen it's a Justin Timberlake movie, In Time,
Yeah. Yeah. With he's
where they
got
have
thing on the wrist and
the
his
little
time is running
time in
out.
their wrist, and that's where
Yeah.
they go, and you got to give up time. And that's how you wind up in those types of societies, where no one even has the opportunity to break free. Like, yeah, you need people to exist on all levels, but I think that you also need people to have the ability to move between levels. Otherwise, the whole shit is fucked up for certain people who started off a certain point. That's what you wind up with, like in like India or whatever. They got the caste system. Like, you're born here, this is just your life now.
Right.
So the goal to me, as in my mind, is more so avoiding that than getting everyone to try and do some amazing shit, because I think that would also be bad.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just there is no way you solve this puzzle, right? And I just think I believe that much power to sway someone to be guilty or someone to be perceived guilty or whatever the case may be, that's a dangerous power. But it is what it
Mm-hmm.
is, right? And that's what we living in right now. But what we're trying to do is, like you said, read between the lines, give people not to make a decision, either right or wrong, just to look at things, critically think when they look at certain things, and not to be so emotionally attached to certain information, right? And as we when we started this segment right now, I was guilty of that. So I'm not perfect. So you when you spoke, but I will say that the 2 year old baby I just that's going to trigger me every time so speaking of that, segueing into the babies and the kids and the people who can't protect themselves, right? That brings me to think about you know a topic that's always being tossed around in our little community of people who talk the shit we talk, and that's Jeffrey Epstein and the case, and you sent me some that I found I found super interesting, man. And yeah, the story for me is the kids and the victims, right? But then I dug a little. Then this what you sent me, it made me and forced me to think or to dig a little deeper mentally, and like, okay, what may be behind this curtain, right? So a couple of things. I got a couple of questions for you, pertaining to Mr. Epstein. But I want to just point out a couple of names that I came across in what you sent me that I found interesting, and that's Barbara Sampson, right? And that's the
Mhm.
New York chief medical examiner. She's the one who ruled Epstein's uh, death a suicide,
Mhm.
right? Then there's Bill Barr,
Mhm.
former U.S. Attorney General, who's interestingly enough, and this is for the people that it's not too versed in this case, and for the people who are, I know they know all this stuff or whatever the case may be. This is for the people who don't know, and in our collective or culture, whatever you want to call it, I think we most of us lack this type of information or don't research this type of information. So, and these names might be a little foreign to them. So, Bill Barr, former U.S. Attorney General, whose father, interestingly enough, that I found interesting, his father got Epstein's career started and hired him as a teacher with no college degree, a math teacher. He had no college degree. Bill Barr's father gave him his start. Bill Barr, he appointed Michael Horowitz as Inspector General over the Epstein suicide case, right? Hugh Horowitz, no relation, Bureau of Prisons chief, who was reassigned shortly after Epstein's death. Interestingly enough, uh, not before CCTV was erased by technical errors, right? And there's Richard Berman, who was the judge on the case, Michael Baden, who did the second autopsy over Epstein, and all this, and the list of names go on as I dug a little deeper, right? I want to say something, so I'm gonna say it. All these names and these people involved in this, they all have one thing in common. And I'm just stating factual. I'm stating factual information. I'm not
Facts aren't racist, people.
Facts are not racist, right?
Facts are not hateful.
And I got a point that I'm going to allude to, and then a question, right? So
Yup.
all these names, and there's more names. There's more people involved in this whole situation. Uh, but I just named a few of the key players. They all have something in common. They are all Jewish, which I found interesting, and I'm not making anything up, just stating what it is. I find
Stating
it
the fact.
right. So I find it interesting that if you see in a newspaper article, usually see black man murders or Hispanic man, not just man. It's usually black man did this, Hispanic man did this, Asian man did this, right? And it's like, okay, we kind of deal with that, right? And he is black. If a black man commits a murder, yeah, technically he's black. So you could say he's a black man, right? So that's the argument there. Well, he is black. So here's the argument.
What's the
What's
difference?
the difference? I just stated that it seems to be everyone involved in this situation is Jewish. And you say, well, who cares? Right? Well, so coincidence. All right, cool. Might be. Then that kind of made me dig a little deeper. I was like, okay, that's a coincidence. All right. So my question has something to do with that. And it's a touchy one, right? So digging deep, I found that questions asked: did Epstein work for Hamas? And a secret, so Hamas, right? For people who don't know what that is a secret intelligence service.
That's Mossad. The
Mossad,
Mossad.
sorry, Mossad, secret intelligence service of Israel. I don't know this to be a fact. If he did or did not work, or was an agent, or whatever the case may be, and his job may or may have not been compromising, gathering information to blackmail Western powerful people who shouldn't have been doing this shit anyway. But other than the actual victims and this being a heinous fucking whole situation, I found all that stuff to be interesting at the most. What do you think about the allegations of Epstein may be an agent of some sort and gathering information, gathering information, and when arrested, either being killed or escaped, and it being all covered up? What do you think about this?
So,
It's a lot, but
so my understanding, or what it is that I have heard, exactly what it is that you said. Now, again, I'm nobody. Fuck do I know? But is that he was or is Mossad, which is, again, Israeli intelligence agency.
yep.
So there are a lot of people that you could tie back that are painted as certain figures who wind up being tied back to various intelligence agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset, as was Charles Manson.
Oh, and Bill Barr's father was CIA too. So
Also, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard it stated from a former CIA agent that the CIA and the Mossad are basically one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, as we talked about, I believe, last episode, in my brain, it doesn't make sense to me that this powerful person who was collecting all sorts of bribery and blackmail on powerful people got caught and then killed himself, because wouldn't that be the perfect time to pull out your blackmail card? Like, that seems like it'd be
Get out
the
of
perfect
jail.
time.
Get out of jail card.
If there's any time to use it, it seems like it's then. Hey, I don't want to go to jail, so you better make this happen, or you're going to jail too,
Right.
my friend. Seems like the perfect time. I don't know. That's just me. But then, okay, so he was killed, and it seems very odd to me that such a high-profile prisoner would be murdered without anyone knowing anything about it. And also, apparently, as we saw in that thing, the guards were asleep whenever it happened. That's weird, and also very convenient. But the question would be, maybe they were asleep. But the question is, how did someone know that they were asleep? Or I saw the thing about his autopsy looking weird, but yes, so he was killed and it was covered up, or he escaped. Both of those make far more sense to me than the fact that he killed himself before pulling out his blackmail trump cards, because that's not blackmail to President Trump, but like a card that trumps. Blackmail trump card for confused people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems like the more logical things to me. And then the question becomes, why did they cover up his murder, and or why did they help him escape?
Who's they?
Exactly. It's always the who is they. And what's interesting is that when you dig into a lot of things, I know it sounds conspiratorial. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. Interestingly enough, the they in question, being the CIA and or various intelligence agencies, are the ones who made up the word conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
So But it does sound like a conspiracy theory, but sometimes you just put little pieces together and think, this kind of looks like a picture. Are you a crazy person for assembling, a bunch of little shapes and seeing a heart when it resembles a heart? I don't personally think so, but some people would like you to.
I mean, if usually, you know what I do? I usually put myself in the situation and what would I do? This is so. If I was caught, you know, and I know, so to speak, if I was caught with caught with my pants down, and I knew someone had this information on me, and I had the power to erase that, would I do so? Yeah, that's what I would do. He's out of here, and it's not even a hard decision. You're dead. But if you had some on me that could destroy my life, and I had the power to eradicate you, I would do so and I wouldn't think twice about it. So if I would do that, why wouldn't this guy or whoever's
I
fucking
wouldn't them
pulling the strings,
folks.
right? Whoever's pulling the strings and shit.
I have another putting yourself in someone's shoes scenario. If I were in charge of some large covert clandestine agency and one of my agents had a bunch of information that I wanted that would allow me to take down certain people and
Hmm.
he got captured, I'd want him back.
Yeah.
Or if other idea, if one of my agents who had all of this information or was doing all of this stuff got captured and I already knew the information, I would want him gone before he could possibly be made to give up said information.
Hmm.
Just possibilities, just speculation,
Yeah.
just what it is that we are thinking over here.
Yeah. We're not the only ones thinking it, but I think we provide a unique perspective on this thing, and especially coming from where we came from. I don't think there's many people of our hue talking about this type of shit in the way we talk about it.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, because we're leaning on the side. We're not choosing any sides. We're leaning on the side of logic, and that's what it is. I mean, what we deem to be logical. If I just stepping back from the situation without being triggered, and once you get over the victims and the actual crimes, and you dive into the case or dive into the people involved in the situation, you get to think objectively, like, okay, why, okay, these people are, yeah, of this. I'm starting to make connections here, and as I stated, I'm not anti-Semitic because I stated that everyone that I named is of Jewish descent. That just is what it is. That's the information. You
Yeah,
do
we
with
didn't
it.
make that be the people
No,
involved.
I didn't choose. I didn't choose them folks. I didn't choose them folks. Those folks are just there, right? So if you say uh, if you say 99% of Atlantic Records is black, I would say, yeah, okay. I
You said
mean, I
both of
mean,
the
I could,
NBA players are black.
right.
Is
I
that a
could.
fact or is that
Um,
racism?
it's just what it is, right? It's just what it is. So stating the obvious is not being racist. It's just, and I'm allowed to state the obvious if it's obvious, right? And I led off by saying it's not racist if the news says black man commits bank robbery or Mexican man and brown man and all this case. If we could deal with that, then if you are Jewish, you can deal with me just saying Jew. I could say Jewish. I could
Yeah,
say it. And I'm
I
not.
think
It's
I
not a
think people
slur.
are.
It's not a
No,
slur.
but people act like it is. But people have this thing confused here, right? If you say black man robs bank, that's not racist. Man robs bank because he's black is racist. So just pointing it out as a fact is not racist.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with this. You can do this. This is acceptable and this is allowed.
Except,
So
except when it comes to this particular demographic. Go figure, right? I don't.
Kanye showed you that.
Well, yeah. Whether you like him or not, he's out here teaching. Whether you like him or not,
He's
or
shown a light.
yeah, whether you agree with him or not, it is freedom of speech, and you are allowed to state the obvious. And
Or at
that's
least
what
you should be.
Get at least you should be right, and that's what we do on this show. We logically look at certain and logically look at difficult situations, um, try to pull away emotionally, and look at the situation for what it is. There is a lot more to dig deep in, especially with Epstein and that whole situation. I am of the belief that we probably won't get any fucking names and all this other shit. These people are too powerful. And I like to state another thing. I don't particularly. This might sound crazy. I don't particularly give a fuck, because it's not going to affect my life in terms of me chasing what I have to chase on an everyday basis. Right? It's not going to interrupt my life. Um, I'm just trying to get the information for the people who may, you know, who may spend half their time trying to figure out what's going on. That's what I'm here for. I'm not going to let any of this stuff, whether it's Trump acting like an asshole or Epstein or fucking Doche, or I'm not going to let any of these things stop what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is trying to be the greatest man that was ever put here on in the universe that has ever been created. I'm trying to be that. All right. Every day on a day-to-day basis, that's what I'm trying to do. None of this is going to interrupt that. But I find it interesting, and this is what we're talking about, and we are presenting logical situations for you to deduct your own theories.
Gotta think your own thoughts out here, but regardless of what it is
Gunshot.
that is going on, 1000%, regardless of what it is that's going on in the world, you still have obligations. You still have things that you need to do. You should still have goals that you're working towards. And none of this shit is ever going to change that. It doesn't matter if they release all of these files and all of these people
Then
get
what?
arrested. That's fine. Your
Then
rent
what?
is still due at the end of the month, and
Right.
you still need to figure out how to pay that. You still need to figure out how to make more money so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So you could go on to the next chapter of your life, get in the best shape possible, make the most money possible, have the best relationship possible, become the best version of you. Your goals, your responsibilities, your duty to do so does not change based on current events. It doesn't matter about the aliens or fucking Casey Anthony on TikTok or Epstein or Trump or fucking what was her name, Dochi, and what she thinks about
Douchebag.
dating straight dudes for some reason. Yeah, none of that shit, none of it means anything. It doesn't matter what it is that happens with Diddy. You have your responsibilities and you need to do what it is that you do, just like I do, just like he does, just like we do. And if you're gonna let all of this other shit stop you from striving and doing what it takes to level up and become the best version of yourself, well, then you don't deserve to be shit, quite honestly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll end it with this: create your own valuedation within yourself. And trust me, none of this shit will affect what you're doing on a day to day basis of trying to conquer the fucking world or the world that surrounds you in whatever your little small circumference is. You are trying to conquer that as a man, woman, whatever the case may be. Concentrate on your own valuation. Boom!
Motherfucking right, and we're leaving it at that. Deuces.
Peace to all eye seeing Yoda and Duffel Bag Rand. Peace.